Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is our NXT review. This episode was leagues above last week's episode, in my opinion.
I agree.
The in-ring product was really solid tonight. I enjoyed some character beats as well. We got some progression for future episodes of NXT. I mean, this September 14th, next week, that episode is going to be stacked because not only do we have the Index Wedding, we have a number one contenders fatal four-way and an NXT Women's Championship match, Raquel Gonzalez versus Frankie Monet. It's happening already.
Yes!
So, lots to talk about here. Ashton, how'd you feel about tonight's episode?
Well, before I talk, how about some TwitWoW ASMR? You ready for this?
Sure.
Ain't that good shit?
What the hell even was that?
You know how sometimes on like ketchup bottles and stuff, they'll have like a plastic wrapper on the lid that you have to remove because it has like those dotted lines that you can kind of peel it through?
Yeah.
Well, it was that, but for a hot sauce bottle.
Okay, only here. So, how'd you feel about tonight's episode?
It was pretty good. Admittedly, because I only got, I think, maybe like 4.5 hours of sleep last night, I did kind of phase in and out of the first hour, like napping on and off. So I'm not 100% lucid on the entire first hour. I could probably give you a decent idea of what happened, but I don't know any exact details, or at least not many exact details. But what I saw of the second hour was definitely a huge improvement over last week, for sure. Last week was brutal. This week was pretty damn good, actually. I'm much more happy about this week's episode than I was last week.
All right, let's get to our first segment, Heat of the Night. Gonna keep this real simple. I have the pickiest of nits. While I agree with the sentiment and the spirit of the beatdown to end NXT, I would appreciate more continuity. And just to give context for people, just so I'm not going 1,000 miles an hour, Dunn and Holland severed ties with Lorcan and Birch. They beat the crap out of them. I get it. I wish Lorcan could have stuck around because he's pretty dope, but fuck Danny Birch. But I want continuity in the fact of it would have been so much more powerful if Dunn and Holland actually did have some high ground, but Holland just lost to Tommaso Ciampa, I think literally what was the week prior, right? So
really the problem isn't anything that happened this week. The problem is we're now doubling down on having a problem with Holland losing to Ciampa.
Exactly. You know, because I think it's more of a continuity issue now than anything else for me. Because it's like, oh, you know, their weakness isn't okay, but Holland's weakness was. So, you know, again, it's the pickiest of nits. I don't want to dwell too long on it, but I think this just shows, though, that when you make characters strong, it reverberates throughout the successive moments that you do with them. Whereas if you do the opposite, it kind of lingers like a bad odor. So that's really the only complaint that I have, because there is a lot of positive to talk about here, but I do want to field it over to you. Do you have anything you want to air out tonight in this segment?
I don't think that I have anything to add, no.
All right. And let us get into our NXT review. And we open up with Ember Moon versus Kaylee Ray. And I'm just going to say it, really fun opening match. And I think specifically because Ember really got to do some of her best stuff here that she's done in a minute. She did a great crossface spot that I popped for. She did like a kind of suplex spot where she had Kaylee Ray in like a suplex position. And she threw her out of the ring, followed up by a beautiful suicida. She did like a backpack over-the-shoulder type throw, almost like a driver for a near fall. Ember's stuff looked really good here, and her sell on the KLR bomb, the Kaylee Ray bomb, which is just a gory bomb, I think was really good. I'm not trying to shortchange Kaylee Ray by any means. I understand it takes two people to make a fun match, but I just feel like Ember's part in this was really good. How did you feel about this?
Yeah, this is probably the part of the first hour that I got to see the most of. And yeah, Ember looked great. I was so happy to have her back. I feel like it's been so long since we've seen her last. A little bit disappointed that she was going against Kaylee Ray, not because I think Kaylee Ray sucks or anything. I mean, she doesn't really excite me by any means, but I don't think she's bad or anything. More just because I knew that she would lose, and I love Ember, and I want to see her succeed. And Kaylee Ray is the project right now. She's the one that they're clearly building up as a future challenger or maybe even potential champion to the NXT Women's Title. That being said, it was a fun match. I'm glad that we got to see some good stuff from Ember. I don't think we got to see any clips, right?
I don't think so. No, because Kaylee Ray stopped it.
Right.
So we didn't get to see any clips.
So the good news here is that the Eclipse is still protected.
Yes, absolutely. Thought the pacing was solid, really high energy matchup. And I'll just say this too, because I always like combining segments when we can. Ember does have an interview later in the night where she says, like, more or less, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Keep watching, something's coming. So I don't know if Ember's going to turn heel, if she's going to debut a new gimmick potentially. I know she did post a photo recently. She's lost 35 pounds. Like, she's really getting like an even better shape than she was when she came back. And I thought she looked great when she came back. I'm here for strong style Ember. But
it would be interesting to me if her idea of like keep watching, see what happens next, is her going to SmackDown and beating the fuck out of Tegan Nox while Shotzi looks on in disbelief.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm taking my partner back.
But then Shotzi's like, I don't want this. What are you doing? I like her too. And then we get like a really emotional triangle feud.
Yeah, exactly. I'd low-key be here for that. I think the women's tag divisions definitely need kind of defibrillators to the chest, so to speak. But we'll have to see if that happens or not. But yeah, I am interested to see where her direction will go because I am an Ember Moon fan. I know you are as well. And I think she does definitely have something to offer any women's division she's a part of. So we'll have to see. Then we get, Dunn's whole faction, him, Holland, Lorcan, and Birch. They're in their own locker room. Lorcan and Birch prepare for their tag title matchup. They more or less say, we never lost those titles. It's real simple. Tonight we take them back. Dunn says, don't just beat MSK. Like, don't just take the titles back, but really beat them down, send a message, make an example out of them. And then Birch sends, I think it was Mackenzie away. Like, it's one foot for the other, get to moving. So really nothing special there. Then we get the bachelorette party. Now, I want to check in with you real quick since you've already kind of been forthright about you were kind of phasing in and out. Do you have much you could say about this bachelorette party?
I loved it.
Awesome.
I saw the segment where they were all sitting around the table and Indy gave her toast and then Candice gave her little toast. And then they agreed to go spy on Dexter and Johnny.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I gotta tell you, it's not just Johnny that's won me over. I'm low-key starting to become more of a Candice fan, too. Like from the jump.
Her comedic timing is surprisingly good, yeah.
Dude, right? From the jump, Indy's like, oh, Candice, you invited all of my friends. Yeah, it wasn't easy because you don't have any friends. What? Nothing. Great.
Oh, I missed that part. That's funny.
Yeah, and like...
I know Cora Jade was there.
Yeah, great to see her. I've become more curious about her because I see her on Twitter a lot, and I think she's definitely one that's like passionate about the product. Casey and Kaden were there, super rude,
dude.
Super rude.
Right? I think that was literally my first message in the live wrestling discussion channel on the Discord, which anyone can gain access to for $3 a month on our Patreon. Was wow, Casey and Kaden are rude as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, you guys can get in on the live wrestling discussion channel if you haven't, and really just get in on the whole TWitWoW Discord for $3 a month. Check out the TWitWoW Patreon for more.
Said. Did you not hear me plug that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear you plug it, admittedly. Wow. I kind of phased out because I was looking at a tweet.
I see.
So my apologies. But yeah, bachelorette party, a lot of fun. Great comedic timing from Candice. Good stuff. Carmelo Hayes versus Santos. Another really fun match. What'd you think of this one?
Yeah, this was another really good one. I think I missed most of this one. I think I saw entrances and then started to fade because I was super sleepy.
Yeah, I mean, Santos looked great here. Of course, I would say that. Carmelo Hayes was really impressive. I'm not going to recount every spot in this, but I will say I think one of my favorite spots in this was Carmelo Hayes looked like he was going to do a gourd buster, but he transitioned from a gourd buster into a cutter. And that was
That's
really
cool. I like it.
Really good. Yeah, it looked really cool. So he really looked competitive against Santos, but we understand that Santos is in the bigger program, so obviously he's going to win. He does after the Phantom Driver, which he gets off because Lopez, the female heavy of the group now, she body slams Hayes on the outside. And, he comes back in, he beats the count, but Santos is able to pick the bones real easy, get the driver, get the win. I love it. I was even saying to Javaris in the live wrestling discussion channel that, I'm almost sad that he's feuding with Swerve because I know they're going to have a fire matchup whenever that finally takes place. And I like how they've slowly built it up, though. Like, we're not rushing the North American title match.
No,
we're really letting this breathe.
Yep.
In fact, if anything, we'll probably get an 8-person tag before we get the North American Championship match, at least the way that things are going. But, man, LDF just seems to be in a real rhythm right now. And I keep saying I want Raul and Joaquin to be NXT Tag Team Champions. Like, I like MSK, but I've said in the past, I feel like they were pushed way too fast for my liking. And, they're kind of hit or miss for me, if I'm honest. And I'm still waiting for GYV to be champions as well, but that notwithstanding, LDF is in such a rhythm right now. I would love for Santos to confront Joe and just be like, hey, Joe, I want that championship because, dude, he's so good, and his faction really feels complete now. So, great matchup. Hayes looked astounding. Cannot wait for him to cash in his title shot.
Yeah, I was also, dude, I don't know how you feel about this, but I've been saying this since before Hayes even won the breakout tournament. I feel like Carmelo Hayes is a natural fit in Hit Row. So the fact that they put him against Santos here immediately kind of gives me those tinglies, ooh, maybe I was onto something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And Hayes definitely has that vibe, man. I totally get where you're coming from with that. He just oozes a charisma and stuff. Again, though, I don't know if he's got those bars. I mean, we know he's got lines promo-wise, but that's a completely different art of rhetoric.
That's true. That is true.
We'll have to see. But then we get a quick shot of Casey and Kaden training. Nobody cares.
Okay, so
then we get
Regal. This is what I wanted to stop you at because I think if I had to have a heat of the night tonight, this announcement would be it because we got announced who the way that they're going to determine the number one contender for Samoa Joe's NXT Championship for his first challenger is going to be a 4-way match next week between LA Knight, ew, Tommaso Ciampa, ew, Pete Dunne, ew, and Kyle O'Reilly, meh.
And to me, here's what I'm just going to go point by point. Ciampa's been a tag guy forever. He wins one singles match against a guy that wasn't even necessarily a top contender either, and he's in. Makes no goddamn sense.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, since we don't have any reason to hold back on predicting this, I think Ciampa's winning the thing. I think we're going to get Ciampa Joe at the next, maybe not even at the next TakeOver, but at the next NXT, special episode or whatever they do.
Yeah, I got to be honest, man. I completely disagree with you on that. I think this is the vehicle to get done his win. The funny thing is, though, you and I at least both agree that Kyle is not winning this.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be saving his title match for a later date. But yeah, just to go through the contenders, I already said about Ciampa. LA Knight makes no sense to me. He just lost Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes should be in this spot, bar none.
Yeah.
It should be Cameron Grimes in this spot. And like I told Kirby Freeman, even if LA Knight were to win, which he's not, but let's just have the conversation. If he were to win, if I'm Samoa Joe, I laugh my ass off, dude. I'm like, that's the easiest first title defense I'm ever going to get. I saw you get put in a Cobra clutch by a 67-year-old. That's not hyperbole, by the way. I checked Teddy DiBiase's age before I told Kirby. Yeah. You're pathetic. Dunn, I will say, in kayfabe does make sense because him and Joe have been having the stare downs and stuff. And Kyle, of course, makes sense. He won his last big match at a TakeOver. So one half of this field is completely right. The other half is total what the fuck. And really, I'm really mad on it. And this is why the mid card I think is more exciting because if you had guys like Swerve in this, if you had guys like Santos in this, Cameron in this, that's exciting to me because these guys are on the come up.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just really kind of a dull field, honestly. So I do not blame you at all. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No.
Okay. We get Bivens. God damn, I love me some Malcolm Bivens. And the Creed brothers, Brutus and Julius. And Bivens, is kind of talking them up. And he says, this week you're going to see, the Creed brothers in action. You're going to see what Diamond Mine's all about. And Roderick Strong comes in. He shakes their hands. He's like, this is where the real work begins. And then we get Brutus and Julius's debut. I did not catch the names of the guys they faced. Did you?
Paxton Averill and Chucky Viola.
That's amazing.
Right? What the hell?
You know what, guys?
Can I just
I'm nothing
comment
if not
too? I
honest.
love that their names are Julius and Brutus. They might as well not even be the Creed brothers at that point. They're the Caesar brothers.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I I gotta be honest. I said it in the Discord. I'll say it again here. I had so much fun with this. I love this. I was just having the biggest smile on my face, which tells me, for the misgivings that I may have given some personal revelations about Gable Steveson, if this put a smile on my face, I can only imagine what him and potentially his brother will
Bobby.
make me feel, when they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me?
I said Bobby.
What's his name? Bobby. Yeah. So Gable and Bobby will have to see. But yeah, because I was smiling ear to ear about these guys. I mean, this was fun to me. This was really, to me, and you even kind of said it, white version of AOP, but I would also add that looks like at least somewhat that they can work, even if they are very limited yet. I didn't cringe at anything that they did. I love the takedowns. I love the overwhelming power. I mean, the uppercut that Brutus got at the very beginning, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking here. Because you know what? Like,
yeah.
I don't even. In a way, I hate to be that guy because apparently, according to you, and you have no reason to fucking lie, these guys don't really have like a lot of experience. So it does worry me that they're so green and that I'm saying this. They might have just leapfrogged the line of teams that can like beat MSK because I'm already seeing them in the ring with them and just like the bumps that MSK will give these guys and the ragdolling and shit. We could be looking at the next NXT Tag Team Champions because they need to be heels.
True.
And I think they need to be believable. And GYV has already gotten so many cracks that even though I desperately want it to fucking be them, Christ, I rarely root for any act from NXT UK. You find the exception, and it's just like, maybe. But I think we have to start looking at these guys as like the top threat. And if that's the case, I take it week by week. This week, I loved what I saw. I'm more curious, though, if you have any kind of comments you want to make.
You already know my comment, dude. I already said it. They're like a white AOP to me, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. Hey, as long as they can work and they protect their opponents, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, because again, I really did like what I saw here. The finish where it almost seemed like a kind of takedown where he just like really forcefully dropped the guy and then a lariat. And I think that was Julius that did that because I think Brutus was counting on the outside, if I'm not mistaken. That was pretty cool. I expect these guys. Yes, exactly. That's what they should call it, honestly. I fully expect these guys to get a title shot very soon. So we'll see.
Literally, don't even include the Brute. Just make their finisher called Et 2.
Yeah, perfect. Already touched on the Ember Moon interview.
Yep.
I'm going to hand the reins over to you for this one.
Swerve.
How'd you feel about that hit row vignette?
Dude, I love the camera angles in these hit row vignettes. I love how, like, adventurous they are with the camera angles. It's really cool. I love that they're, like, they have, like, all the faces that you can zoom into them, but then they also have, like, side shots of the faces that they can get of them. And then they have, like, the pan version, like, zoomed out. It's really cool. I love the production of these hit row vignettes. And I really want to believe that Swerve actually has say in how that's done, and he's like, this is like his brainchild. He basically said that he should have known that Escobar would have a trick up his sleeve, and then Top Dollar says a hard hand, I think he said actually makes a soft ass. B-Fab said something about Elektra and that they have a problem, so we might actually get a one-on-one match between B-Fab and Elektra.
Which would be interesting. I've wanted to see B-Fab in the ring for a while. Yeah. I know you popped at Top Dollar's line about wearing 3 of LDF like a musty poncho.
Yes, that was such a good line.
Top Dollar's just got it, man. I say it every fucking week.
I know. It's so clear.
Yeah. So great stuff from them. Loving this group. That's why I really don't root against either group, honestly, because I just love them both for completely different reasons. Then we get Casey and Kaden versus Eo and Zoe. Do you have anything you want to say about this?
No.
Eo gets the winning pin because that's who she is. After the match, Casey and Kaden get the crap beat out of them by Gigi, JC, and Mandy, who is wearing the mask. So, in NXT, I can't be a hypocrite. I said I wanted it, and then it'd be perfect. I'm here for it, okay? I am here for it a little bit. So we'll see where they go with that. But it seems like we're going to get a 6-woman tag. Saray, Casey, and Kaden versus Gigi, JC, and Mandy.
I feel sorry for Saray, honestly.
yeah, this definitely doesn't seem like where she should be at this point. I'm not saying put the fucking title on her, but
You know what though? This shows how intelligent Mandy, Gigi, and JC are because Mandy made enemies out of them, and rather than them naturally making enemies with someone, they went out of their way to find enemies that were tiny and dumb
yeah,
for Sade to team up with. It's brilliant,
yeah.
honestly. Like that's some fucking Sun Tzu shit right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love to see it. We get Kyle's promo. I actually liked Kyle's promo this week. See,
You
this
know
is
what's
what I'm talking about
freeing?
when he's
Not giving a damn.
yeah. I actually liked his promo this week.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just hard to take that Canadian accent seriously, honestly, for me at
yeah,
least.
he's just kind of recapping, everything that's happened with him. Losing his best friend, coming up short in title opportunities, but he'll do whatever it takes. He'll do anything to get that match with Samoa Joe. And there was real believability. I'm liking these promos too because I know Edge used to do this when he was recovering from his I think his tricep injury, where it's kind of like you're sitting in the corner of the ring. It's got like an old school ECW vibe to me. I'm here for it. I like it. Then we get by far, but I don't want to hog this one. So again, I'm going to hand the reins over to you. My favorite segment of the night, and
The
maybe even on
bachelor
NXT
party.
TV in a while. Yeah. How did you fucking feel
Yes.
about the bachelor
Oh, it
party?
was so good. Dude, I love that not only was this just like, oh, we're going to entertain people, but it told a story because the whole thing was Dexter trying to win Johnny over. Dexter trying to show Johnny, hey, I'm not so bad, man. You can approve of me getting with Indy. It's all good. We're going to be great. And he succeeds by the end. He actually succeeds. The first time that I noticed it was the go karts because Johnny, or I think Johnny was in third place behind Loomis and Zombie Ref, and Loomis rammed Zombie Ref into the barricade to allow Johnny to win. So that made Johnny all happy. Then they did axe throwing. Loomis was pretty much the only dude that was good at it. He showed Johnny the technique. Johnny started hitting close to bullseyes. Made Johnny real happy. Then we had laser tag. Loomis was going around choking people out, smacking them up, incapacitating people so that Johnny could shoot him with his laser and get the points. I love that Loomis basically treated Johnny like his date and tried to impress him by letting him win. And it worked because that's Johnny. You have to satiate his ego. I love this.
Yeah, dude, I popped for the chloroform. Do I need to say anything
Yes.
else? Like,
Dude, look at my message in the live wrestling discussion. I literally freaked out. I was like, oh my God, it happened. The long awaited return. Finally, chloroform has made its return to NXT.
I loved it. I loved it. I love this whole thing. I think it is a testament to the people involved in this that they've been able to sustain the momentum of this story for so long. Because I think that really is, particularly in the WWE product, because I don't survey a lot of wrestling, and I'm always honest about that with you guys. But I think in the WWE product, which I survey constantly, it's very hard to maintain the momentum of any given story, especially for as long as they have. Because I feel like this is a story going on several months now, and it's kept my interest. It's been fun every step of the way. It's made me a Johnny Gargano fan again, so that's a huge accomplishment for any story to do. Is if they lost me on somebody to bring me back to that person. I do feel like Austin Theory is going to reemerge next week, and
Maybe.
I don't think it's going to be for good things.
Dude, here's what I really want next week. I really want Theory to reemerge with a big old hobo beard. And I want him to be like enlightened, like Juice Robinson when he was CJ Parker. I want him to be like, this is not the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Well, we'll see what happens, but they've handled this beautifully. And it's really an interesting wrinkle that Johnny and Candice have accepted him, or at the very least have accepted the relationship.
Yeah.
It seems like that's more where Candice is, and Johnny may have just full-blown accepted Dexter. I don't know. It seemed like they had a fun time.
I wonder if we're going to get any moments where Candice is like, I still think he's kind of sus, but I'm just glad he makes Indy happy. And Johnny's just like, I don't know, I think he's kind of cool.
Yeah, like +5 if you see Johnny at least wearing one of Loomis's gloves in solidarity. Like, I think he's kind of cool. And then the camera pans to a glove that he's wearing, or maybe even like a picture that fucking Loomis drew of Johnny, maybe with the NXT championship. And it's
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome. So yeah, good shit. Then after that, we get a Mei Ying vignette just to say that her debut is coming. Before that, though, we get a House of Monet segment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, again, where we get announced that Frankie Monet will be challenging Raquel for the championship next week. How do you feel about Frankie getting her title shot so soon, partner?
I'm, you know, I feel like this is so sudden that there has to be something going on backstage about it. Like it has to be some grander scheme. Like one of these women, whether it's Frankie or Raquel, Vince must have gotten an eyeful of one of them and been like, I need her on the main roster today. I need her now. And been like, well, if it's Raquel, we still got to make her drop the title. If it's Frankie, well, she hasn't gotten a title match yet, and she probably should. So let's give her that and have her put Raquel over before she goes up. Either way, I think one of them, whoever loses the match, is probably going to end up on the main roster, maybe even via the draft. I could see it happening that soon.
How can I put this? Because I want to be very careful with my word choice here. I can understand where you're coming from. I hope you're right in a way if it's Frankie, because I don't want to like run back the whole Adam Cole nightmare where somebody that's incredibly talented just dwells in one brand for years. Like I'm telling you, if they like, and I still hope even with this revamp, trade talent places for fuck's sake. Have Sheamus go to NXT. Have so-and-so go to fucking NXT. Have another one go to Raw or SmackDown. You know, Frankie is immensely talented. I almost feel like maybe Raw's women's division would need Frankie more than SmackDown because SmackDown just got Becky back. So I feel like they're good at least for a little bit because of that. But I think she'd be a good fit wherever she goes. I do worry, and I did say this in the Discord, that the match happening this soon makes me think that Raquel's winning. And if nobody gets shaken up anywhere, then I'm really going to be kind of mad about all this because it's like, wow, Frankie could have been a takeover caliber opponent that you really built up and did an actual program with her and Raquel about. And you just did like a random ass TV match because I think September 14th, right, is the start of this new NXT.
Yeah.
And you just kind of use that as fodder to pad it out. Now, on the other hand, just to look at the other side of the coin, because it is the new NXT and you're kind of loading it out like this, maybe you would want to get the pop with the title change.
Yeah.
I think that is possible. So this really is a coin flip to me, man. I'm obviously rooting for Frankie. I think she's wonderful, both as a human being and as a performer. And Raquel, I could totally see, you know, to your point, either one of these women wanting to be called up, you know, per Vince. Raquel probably because of her look and her just being kind of like a power heel or whatever, and Frankie just because, I mean, she can do it all. So I'll be very curious what happens next week, but very cool she's getting her title shot, if not a bit tentative about the whole thing. We'll see.
Yeah.
Then we get Mei Ying's debut. I'm going to be very brief about this and then hand it over to you. This is everything I wanted. That's
right?
It. You?
Why did they wait so long for this?
Yeah. Yeah, this was literally all I fucking needed.
Right?
Like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Like, what purpose did it serve for them to tease her in-ring debut and then just have it not happen all those months ago? I don't get it.
I don't know. Yeah, and maybe there's nothing to get, man. You know, I think we know the internal strife with a lot of the WWE product. I will say, though, I want to actually give my biggest compliments to Karen Q herself because I've seen
Are we
the woman
certain
work.
that this is who she is?
It seems pretty certain on the interwebs that it's her. I'm not saying that it's like definitive, but I would put it at like maybe even 90%. People seem really confident that it's her.
All right,
so I'll rephrase it this way. If it is Karen Q, my biggest compliments potentially go to her because I've seen her work. I never thought she was a bad worker by any means, but I was really impressed how she worked this match because she worked it in a way that made me believe that that's how Mei Ying would wrestle.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do when, you know, people have seen you wrestle in the past and you've got this completely different, totally divorced from anything you've done prior character and changing your style to accommodate that character. And again, if it is Karen Q, I think she did that perfectly. I love the throat chops. I loved the fucking death grip, you know, to win it.
Yep.
That's good shit, man. If Frankie doesn't get the job done, I say again, as a character, I'm all for Mei Ying holding that championship.
And I agree with you now. After seeing her performance tonight, I do agree with you now. I don't know. I feel like we might have had a discussion about this where I was like, I don't know, man. Seems kind of weird to push someone just based on their gimmick. But no, I'm all in. I'm with you now. I want Frankie to win. I really do. I'm going to be rooting for her
Same.
hard next week. But if she
Yeah.
doesn't, Mei Ying is next on my list as well.
Awesome. Yeah, again, I reiterate one final time. This was everything I wanted. I really wasn't asking for much from Tian Sha. They fucking blew it with Boa. Zaya, I do hope is okay because we haven't seen her since the Raquel matchup.
Fuck.
And they didn't do like horrendous with her, but I still feel like some matches went on a bit too long. Mei Ying was exactly the style that I thought that Tian Sha would work and stuff like that. She's just this is it. Like it should just revolve around her at this point.
Yep.
Honestly,
She's the star.
LA Knight and Ciampa both cut promos. Literally nobody cares.
Fuck 'em
And then
both.
we got Lorcan and Birch versus MSK. What'd you think about this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it was there. I wasn't over the moon about anything in it, really. MSK continue to be that injection of life that the tag division desperately needs. And Danny Burch continues to be a boring shitter, and I'm glad he got excommunicated after losing here.
Yeah, I think more or less copy paste. I will say though that this main event, it's funny that the main event and the opener kind of share affinities with each other for me, because for me, both matches, and it's funny that we kind of bookend the show this way, it's more like the opposition in Ember's match, Kaylee Ray, and MSK's match, Lorcan and Birch, were just kind of a template to show how good the babyface workers are.
Right.
Because like with Kaylee Ray, we got to see Ember Moon do some really nice looking stuff to me, and this was very similar here in this tag matchup.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I got to give my boy Lorcan some props. Like the dude keeps bringing the intensity. I still say to this day, if you wanted to do a filler feud for Swerve and put him in there with Lorcan, I don't think any of us would complain about that.
True.
The dude just works such a legit punch you in the mouth style without actually punching you in the mouth, because he's not a mark and being like, oh, this is real, looking at you, Loki, and several others.
But also maybe let's not ask Kenta about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And admittedly, I did enjoy those encounters. But yeah, Lorcan's great, so I don't want to like put it all on like, oh, the heel team entirely is a shitter. No, it's just Birch. But MSK, yeah, Wesley especially was kind of blowing my mind tonight. I'm like, damn, dude.
He's amazing.
Like,
he's one amazing talent right there.
Like, honestly, and I always hate to think like this because it just makes me feel like a heartless bastard, but I'm just always like assuming in WWE. WWE doesn't give a shit about tag team wrestling. When you do a tag team, what you're really doing is, okay, maybe both these guys could be single stars, but I want to see them work and see whichever one pulls ahead. To me, Wesley is the single star.
Oh, for
absolutely,
sure.
Between him and Ash Carter.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, this is one of those weird instances where I don't feel like it's fair to call Nash Carter the Jannetty, because he is really good in his own right, but like, it's like you have a star and you have a superstar. Like, Nash Carter can be a star in wrestling. There's no question about it in my mind. But Wesley is a fucking superstar.
Yeah. I really couldn't have said it better, man. I think you said it perfectly. We already talked about the severance to end it. It's funny on Twitter, when I told you earlier that I got distracted, and that's why I didn't hear you already plug the Discord. It was NXT doing in like weird font betrayal and showing a clip of like Dunn, I think it was kicking Birch in the head, and then Dunn kind of copying that font, quote tweeted and said revamp. So it seems like they're pulling a old Nexus when fucking Darren Young got excommunicated, and it's like, oh, we're just trimming the fat. And so now we'll see how Dunn and Holland do. Admittedly, speaking of the tag division, if Dunn for whatever reason loses this Fatal 4-Way, and again, I've got my money on him next week, Dunn and Holland, I think, could be legit contenders for MSK as well.
Yes, and I would be genuinely scared that they would win. I would genuinely be like, okay, this might be where they lose them.
Yeah, Dunn and Holland and the Creed brothers, really looking at those two tag teams as the top threats to MSK right now.
Yep.
So we shall see.
God.
Next segment, guys. High spots and low shots. I'm going to say my low shot's Danny Burch, because you exist. That's enough.
Oh,
Who's your
man.
low shot?
That's a really good low shot. My low shot, I mean, really, I think it's kind of simple, actually. It's Casey and Kaden, because, like, not only did you lose your shot at the NXT tag titles that you were so arrogant about going into, but then you got beat down afterwards by people that you don't even know.
Yeah. Damn. High spot, and this is going to sound a bit backhanded, and I swear it's not that, but Frankie Monet, and here's why. I think she's had the easiest path to an NXT Women's Championship match. Because I swear, I think all the people she's beaten have been like local competitors. I don't even know if she ever did like the obligatory beat Ember Moon or a character of that caliber type matchup. And she got pinned in a tag match, which we all fucking hated, with Casey and Kaden. But she has one altercation with Raquel Gonzalez, which wasn't even physical. It was more like a stare down.
Yeah.
And that was enough for Regal to be like, you know what? I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, dude. She's literally had 3 singles matches. Do you want to hear who they were against?
Yeah, sure.
Cora Jade, Elektra Lopez, and JC Jane.
Well, then there you go. Like,
and
yeah,
she won all those matches in a little over 3 minutes, and then she took that L to Casey and Kaden, and that's all 4 of the matches that she has worked since coming to NXT. That's it.
Yeah, so honestly, I double down. Nothing against Frankie at all. Maybe a bit of a kind of quip about her booking, but I'd say it's the easiest path to an NXT Women's Championship match I've seen practically anybody have.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so, but then again, why not celebrate that? Holy shit, right? Like, look at all you fucking losers that have to win takeover matches and kill yourselves. And I'm just literally me.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Like, literally suck less. So, Frankie Monet is my high spot. Who do you got as your high spot?
You know what? I'm going to keep it simple here. High spot NSK, because they continue to be one of my favorite acts on NXT, as well as having retained their titles tonight against a team that they would end up getting excommunicated from their faction.
Yes, there you go. All right.
That's a lot of damage to do for one team. I'm genuinely impressed. Good job, guys.
Fuck yeah, ruining lives, as they should. MSK all night and all day.
Yeah!
All right, guys, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinator commentary action. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. Be sure to comment down below. Talk to us. How did you feel about NXT? Who do you feel like the biggest threat to MSK's Tag Team Championship reign is? Be sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications so you never get missing out of that 12 hour goodness. Check out the description box. Already mentioned the Patreon. $3 to get Discord access. Not to mention, you'll get additional Q&A questions for that $3 bundle. But if you only want the Q&A questions, it's only $1. Q&A is September 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We do it the last Thursday of every month. You can submit your questions YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Twitter and Discord, to me, are the 2 easiest places to submit your questions. If you donate the $1, you get up to 5 Q&A questions. If you're not donating, you only get up to 3 Q&A questions. Be sure to follow us both on Twitter. I am at John_TwitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Follow Ashton on Twitter at Ashton_TwitWoW. His pinned tweet is the TwitWoW schedule. You can expect, Ashton, I don't want to put you on the spot. Can I say that we can then expect the September schedule to go up on your Twitter this week?
Yes.
Okay, you can expect the September schedule this week, guys. I would just say, are we doing any more Stardom this week, or is our next thing SmackDown on Friday?
We should have a Stardom show on Thursday or Friday.
Okay, then I will say, guys, tentatively Thursday or Friday, expect a Stardom reaction at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And if it is a Friday, expect a doubleheader, because we will be reviewing SmackDown at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I don't think we have anything going on this weekend. That would be the weekend of the 11th and the 12th. So Thursday or Friday, expect Stardom. And if it is Friday again, doubleheader, Stardom and SmackDown. So until then, guys, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Tune in, and peace out.